GA Recap Monday. I know. Long time no see, right? Right. Life has been cray-cray. School is nuts. I am 5 weeks into school of an 8-week session. So I'm on the downhill slide, but that also means that like all the big stuff is coming due. So I have a really big project for marketing. I have a really big project for biology. Both of them are going to be due in 2 weeks. I haven't honestly even started either one of them. So that's happened. Work has been absolutely bonkers. Since my promotion went into full effect, it's been a lot of late nights, a lot of early mornings, and they've all been back to back, and I'm exhausted. My computer's been acting weird and wonky, and so I didn't have anything to upload my videos on. It was just a mess. Like, it's just all been a mess. I've had them all ready for you guys, and it's just been a mess. And now it's just the process of getting them all done and edited and posted and put on the page and just, I feel really off. I was sick for a while. It's nuts. Like, I can't keep up. Like, I'm trying my hardest, and you guys have been amazing and wonderful and so patient, and I'm so grateful for that, because if I had some gripey, whiny poachers about these videos, I'd probably snap out. But you guys are not like that. You guys have been amazing and wonderful, and I'm so excited that I actually get to bring you GA Recap Monday on freaking Monday. Granted, the video probably won't be posted till Tuesday unless I post it super late, but I'm shooting it on time on the day that it's supposed to be shot. That's something, right? Right? I don't know. But we're not here to talk about crazy work schedules or crazy life or the fact that I have officially reached a whole new level of lazy and I don't care anymore because I'm just exhausted. We are here for GA Recap Monday, where I recap the newest episode of Ghost Adventures, and I am so excited because this week the guys were at Oddfellows Asylum, and it's located in Liberty, Missouri, which is only about an hour and a half away from me, 2 with traffic. And so it's super, super exciting. Oddfellows Asylum is a place that I've heard of growing up, and heard of stories growing up. And so it was really awesome to be able to see someone investigate this place. More than 10,000 people have died there. And so, of course, when you get that many people in a location that have passed away there on varying ways of death and tragedy, it's just a breeding ground. And it's just an absolute fascination to watch because there's so much that happens there. The Oddfellows were a secret society with a lot of private rituals, a lot of secrecy, and it was common practice to use the remains of a deceased member of the Oddfellows as a sacrifice to signify human mortality, and they would actually keep the body on the property, and there actually is a skeletal remain of a deceased Oddfellows member in this building, which is creepy AF. There is also tons of deceased orphans in a graveyard on the property's edge, and when you have that much energy there, it is just a breeding ground for all things paranormal related. They are, they did an extensive walkthrough. We've noticed now that they have made a point of letting us know that lockdowns are 2, 3, 4 days long, and investigations. And Zach and them, of course, are doing their walkthrough, and something very interesting on the walkthrough is they find a chalkboard in the original part of what used to be the schoolhouse, and there's like people that have written, things on the chalkboard and whatever. And as Zach's looking at it, he notices on the bottom of the chalkboard, he sees his name, Z-A-K, which is very weird because most people don't spell Zach that way. Zach spells it very differently from most people. Most people spell it Z-A-C-K or Z-A-C-H. Zach, we all know, spells it Z-A-K. And Aaron then points out it says will die. And he's like, what? And it says Zach will die. And it sure in the hell did. It said Zach will die on the chalkboard. At that point, I would have packed my stuff and went home. I would have been like, nope, line drawn. But of course, Zach being Zach, he was like, what the? which was kind of my reaction. And I was just dumbfounded. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, for real? Lock it down, boys, and get the show on the road, because it's gonna be crazy. This place is trigger object overload. As you all know, a trigger object is an object that is meaningful to the place and to the spirits there. It's going to have some sort of a meaning to them, and this place is no exception to that. There is tons of stuff. The current owners of Oddfellows Asylum are renovating it slowly, and as they renovate, they find toys and trinkets and cards and pictures in the wall from when this was a nursing home and when this was an orphanage of 100 years. I mean, this is over 100 years old. And they actually give Zach and Aaron and Billy and Jay a chance to kind of dig into a part of the building that has not yet been touched. And so they kind of get into hazmat suits and they kind of just go at this building for a little bit, and they find Valentine's Day cards and letters and pictures and a book of the dedication from over 100 years ago. It was absolutely unbelievably amazing. All of these objects that they found that are so important to this place and meant something to someone there at one point or another. Going into lockdown, the guys are super excited just because of the trigger objects, just because of the history, just because of everything that they've experienced so far. The energy is super intense there. It is just a massive amount of spiritual activity that you can just feel radiating through the air. Zach begins in a room where there was a satanic ritual done, or they believed a satanic ritual was done. Someone who had been investigating there before, not legally. He was actually trespassing, but he actually went in and noticed that there was a pentagram with 666 written on it, and a sacrificial, like a cat and blood. It was just a mess. But he's seen all this, so of course Zach is drawn to this room. As they're in there, they begin to hear audio interference on the camera, on the X-Cam, and Jay could hear it back at Nerve Center. And Zach is playing this creepy AF version of Ring Around the Rosie. And it's like out of a horror movie. Like, it made me hide under every inch of this blanket. I was in the dark, in this room, in the middle of this bed, a lump on the bed, because I was terrified. Like, all you heard was, ring around the rosy. No! No! Not okay. That is not okay. In a dark room with, like, a doll, and say it with me. Into the MF no. 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 He then feels someone grab his hand. At that point, I would have, after I finished peeing on myself, ran out of that room. Like, I don't do, It is just, it's creepy. Like, I know that I would be so down, like, and so excited to experience that in real life, but I would be terrified. Something about, you think of, like, creepy little kids and creepy little kid songs, and this all goes together. Even though those kids mean no harm. All they want is, it's an orphanage. There are tons of child spirits there. All they want is some attention and for you to play with them, but no. I felt a little cold hand on my head. Oh, hell no. I'd be gone. I'd be out. O-U-T, out. And it creeps Zach out. Like, he's, like, creeped out beyond. And so he has Jay bring in the SLS cam, and by the time, of course, Jay gets there, whatever it is gone. You know, put on your big surprise face. It's like, oh, I'm going to play hide and seek with you. But you can tell that Zach is feeling something. It's like taking his breath away. And it's just absolutely beyond intense. Meanwhile, Billy and Aaron are in the nursing home part of the asylum, where it used to be a nursing home. And over there, they hear footsteps and a growl. And they're very obvious. And then they bring out the Ovilus 3, and they get Nick on the Ovilus. Now, in this case, we're not talking about the Nick that I don't like. We're talking about Nick, who is a paranormal investigator who's investigated this place over 150 times. And they are beyond attached to him. They call him out all the time. And they always mess with him. And they're always screwing around with him. And they are drawn to him, and they wanted him there. And then it gets quiet, and the the X-cam captures a voice on audio that says, do that again. And then the Ovulus says, send Nick. So at 2 separate times, this thing says Nick. Obviously, those spirits want Nick there, and they want him there, like, on the fly. And then they get another voice that says, you take it. Now, Zach, later on during lockdown, is back in the same area that he was in before, and he actually breaks out the new Ovulus 4. Now, the Ovulus 4 is obviously created by GAC's own Bill Chappell. This Ovulus is a maze fest, USA. The voice is clearer. You can understand it better. For those of you who don't know what an Ovulus is a device that has a database inside the device, and spirits can manipulate the energy in order for this device to pick up on these words. They can manipulate this device to be able to phonetically speak out words that they are trying to get you to understand. And the Ovulus can manipulate the energy that it's sensing into creating these words. What's amazing is these words are always, almost always, somehow connected to the location. Like, occasionally they'll get these random ones and then later on find out that it was relevant to the location, but in the moment they really didn't understand. But in this situation, they get Paula, out, and funeral. This is interesting because Paula, they had found a Valentine's Day card earlier in the day, and it was to Pauline. Paula, Pauline, same difference. It's just how the device captured what the spirit was trying to say. Then they bring out, like, the SV7 spirit box, and they get how you doing, which is freaky. Like, whenever you hear a 3-word sentence come through that Ovulus, or the spirit box rather, and you hear like something that big, like a full sentence, it's beyond me. They get I murder, I'm back, several, and then hands down, one of the creepiest things, they hear a child singing in the room where Zach was playing the music earlier in lockdown. It was beyond me. Like, it was creepy AF. Like, this little kid is straight up singing, and it's captured on audio, and it's on the X-cam, and it's absolutely bone-chillingly terrifying. Now, as lockdown wraps up, Billy and Aaron had split off, and Aaron went to go investigate by himself, and then Billy went to go investigate alone on his own, and they decided to meet up at a certain, like, a rendezvous point. And Aaron shows up at the time he's supposed to be there, and Billy doesn't show up. And they wait, and they wait, and they wait, and he's gone for over 2 hours. They can't find him. They don't know where he's at. And Billy is sitting. Finally, Aaron finds him sitting on these stairs, almost catatonic. He's almost, not there. And he's like, what are you doing? Why are you back so fast? And Aaron's like, what are you talking about, dude? It's been like 2.5 hours. And he's like, what? And he completely lost track of time. He had no recollection of anything that had happened. To him, had been there for 2 minutes. He remembers sitting on the stairs, and that is it. This does a couple of things for me. It bothers me because as a fan of the show, you learn to care, even though you don't know these people personally. You care about them. You care about their lives. You care about what happens to them because they mean something to you. You are a fan of theirs. You appreciate their work and what they do for the paranormal community. And so you become attached to them and their lives because you are devoted to what they do. And so it bothers you as a fan to watch them struggle and hurt because you know it hurts them to have that happen to them. It also shows you the seriousness of paranormal investigation and how intense it can get and how lost you can get in the overwhelmingness of the situation. If you are not careful, that spirit world can take over like that, and that's exactly what happened. Billy was vulnerable. He was alone. He's a newer investigator. He hasn't done this a lot. He can't always maybe catch the signs and the symptoms of what is going on around him. And if the power and the energy is strong enough, it can just engulf him very, very fast. Whereas Zach and Aaron are a little bit more in tune with it. They're a little bit more able to keep their head clear. Billy's still learning, even though he's done this for quite a few years with the GAC. As far as going on investigations and doing what he was doing that night, that's new to him. Most of the time he's at Nerve Center. You know, he's doing different things with Jay, or he's analyzing EVPs, but now he is in the thick of it, and he is doing everything that Zach and Aaron are doing, and he does a great job at it. And anybody is subjected to that, and anybody can be subjected to that, but to see Billy go through that when he's so gung-ho, like, I just hope it doesn't, like, take away his excitement and his drive to continue doing it, because he's a great investigator. It's just very, very scary and sad to watch someone that you respect and care about kind of fall into that trap a little bit and then wake up and be dazed and confused and not know what's going on. And it also shows you the realness and the rawness and the scariness and the seriousness of paranormal investigation and how it can turn on a dime like that. But overall, Oddfellows Asylum was amazing. I am loving this season of Ghost Adventures. I have not been disappointed yet. I cannot wait until next week. It's just unbelievably exciting beyond words. But that is all I have for GA Recap Monday. I will be back on Wednesday for GAQA What Should I Do Wednesday, where I answer all of your ghost adventures and general paranormal related questions that you guys ask me all up on the Facebook page. So start submitting those questions now, and I will answer them on Wednesday. Until then, much love and happiness. Have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.